And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. It was a daring declaration from a serving High Court judge that has tonight placed him under fire from within the legal profession and from the leadership of the MPP majority in Parliament. Dormaahene Osajefo Asadiayo Ajiman Bedu II had demanded the immediate termination of the criminal trial of the NDC MP elect for Asin North, James Gyakye Quayson, when he delivered the 10th John Evans Tamils Memorial Lecture. Tonight, there are calls for the General Legal Counsel to impose sanctions on him. We'll also hear from the Ghana Bar Association that just last week sharply criticized lawyers for running public commentary on pending cases before the courts. But first, what exactly did the High Court judge who doubles as the Dormaahene say?
Meka onimonyamfo ba ko bi ofri Canada. Aye se Canada no ntena wo bio. Be pepa ode ato oba Ghana beboa. Oba ye no ho nsensem bi nti. Onyamane.
Before I end, let me talk about this honorable man who returned from Canada. He decided he will no longer live in Canada. He renounced his citizenship to return home and help. When he came, a few issues have come up that has landed him in trouble.
No Supreme Court yes na batwa betu e benya de bentwam ya mubi no kra ni ben kasa de se me Supreme Court kasa gina ye no kame na collect kame nko right na nenti en kame ko no wan hwe no ne bedi sa asem ya wo ntimi nko ka bi.
Just recently, the Supreme Court decided to annul his election as a member of Parliament. To be very honest, if I was on the Supreme Court, I would have dissented in that matter. As for the reasons I would have dissented, the matter is still in the courts, so I'll not go into detail.
Number Mensah and the Attorney General of Ghana, where Emrama Nekwani said, Adiabi Ekoso na Oshe Ghana for Enije Nima Otimiade Ochaso.
But I'm pleading with the Attorney General. The law allows him to end such prosecutions when the public are against it.
Now, as enough. Ben se papa no betwa na konyanum so onya MPB onu. Banko to foforo. Beto man na se banto ama no. Banto ama no. Anya overwhelming majority no nya 57.56. Oya bibi ketwa wa batom.
The voters have overwhelmingly endorsed the gentleman. 57% is not a small feat in an election.
As a matter of urgency, I'm appealing to the President of the Attorney General, President of the Republic. If he has any role to play, that trial should be aborted. The Attorney General should, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosequi to end that particular decision. Sir, make a way because but was what ma ye did the Ghana for attempt. Ye did the Asin North for attempt.
I am saying this because if we continue, it will be an insult to Ghanaians and the people of Asin North.
Na Saudi Nigina Kota, Nabatwa Mani, MP Edman over and Agako. And Koya, Amayan Shamra Papa, and Masabi, Ghana for a Nye Juma, and Mampuntua Kwa. No better my blame. It's on this day. Now make catches a summary. You are president. You know I love you. This matter cannot go on. Attorney General, Odame, prayer the share, not the share. Coco Chasem,
Well, today the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame was asked for his reaction to the comments. This was what he told the press.
I'm not going to comment on it right now. I'll come up with a proper statement on the matter, and it will be in respect of all comments generally which have the tendency to subvert the administration of justice. I think that is very unhealthy for our democratic dispensation, and therefore we must not countenance him.
I want to bring in right now renowned lawyer Samuel Okudzeto, who, of course, is a member of the General Legal Council. He's also a member of the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council and currently a member of the Council of State as well. We'll also be speaking to the GBA's spokesperson, the Ghana Bar Association spokesperson, Samuel Okudzeto. But I want to bring in right now Mr. Samuel Okudzeto. Mr. Okudzeto, thank you for your time here on Top Story. Hello, Mr. Okudzeto.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you very much for your time here on Top Story, sir.
It's okay. What is the issue?
So, I'm pretty certain you've heard the comments from the serving judge and the Dormaahene, doubles at the Dormaahene. Your reaction to what you've heard already, he said about the termination of the trial involving James Gyakye Quayson, who was recently elected MP for Asin North.
Yes, I heard that what he said. Actually, he spoke in Twi. I don't understand, but he spoke some in English, which of course I understood. And so I was actually shocked and surprised at the statement that he was making, particularly because he's a judge. He's a sitting judge. He's a high court judge. And I was surprised that as a high court judge, he should make statements of that nature, particularly in public. I was actually shocked because I would never even dream of making statements of that nature. I think it is shocking. If he felt anything which was wrong, he should rather have sought that person in private and maybe make a suggestion to him, which of course it is the power of the Attorney General to do what he decides to do. I don't think anybody has authority to tell him what he should do. So I was actually surprised.
Is there violation of the code of conduct governing the conduct of judges, what you've heard him say?
Yes, of course, there is a code of conduct that forbids judges from interfering in matters, particularly when the matter is actually pending in court, for the judge to interfere in it. A judge has no right to try and tell another judge or another court what they should say or what they should do in a particular moment. That is not allowed. It's definitely not allowed.
Does it matter at all that in this particular instance he was speaking in his capacity as a Dormaahene or Sajifo Asadiayo Ajimambedu II?
I think that makes it worse. You know, there is something that worries me in this country of ours. We don't understand that a chief is held in such high esteem that he in his palace can confer with people, but that is in private. But to make a public pronouncement on a matter where you are the chief, as if you are giving an order to someone which you have no authority or power to do. But also the platform itself also becomes a little bit suspicious because it looks like it's like a political forum. And you know the Constitution forbids chiefs from interfering in politics or being involved in politics. That one, to tell you the truth, I think is just reasonable. Because you see, as a chief, you are a neutral arbiter where citizens will come to you with a problem. And when they come to you with a problem, your opinion, you even hold it to yourself. But you try to see how you can be able to resolve the matter between them. And since people in your constituency or your kingdom, you understand, may have people of various political opinions, affiliations, and the rest, but they must all still owe allegiance to you, obeisance to you, respect for you. You don't take a stand in any matter which could give a slant as if you are politically inclined to one side or the other. This was the basis why they were being forbidden from involving in politics. If you want to be involved in some politics, leave the stool and then go into the field. But once you understood, it is forbidden. So this is why I was shocked at him making a statement that he's purported to have made.
You've said that the code of conduct that govern the actions of judges also expressly forbid something such as he's just been accused of doing or purported to have said. When we've heard him, his utterances there. You're a member of the General Legal Counsel's Disciplinary Committee. Is this one that triggers your mandate?
No. In fact, I wouldn't even have been speaking with you if it was part of our mandate.
Is the Judicial Council?
You, the public, sometimes don't see to get the picture. The General Legal Council, the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council, it deals with lawyers.
Lawyers, yeah.
Yes. Nothing to do with judges. The judges are dealt with by the
Judicial Council.
by the Judicial Council.
Yeah.
I hope you get the difference. That is a matter for the Judicial Council, not for the Disciplinary Committee or the General Legal Council. We deal with practitioners. So we don't deal with judges. This is not our mandate.
Should the Judicial Council be interested in looking into this?
Well, definitely. In fact, if they don't take it up, it's the responsibility of any citizen to make an petition to them. Any citizen of Ghana has a right to petition the Judicial Council to look into the matter. So even you speaking to me, you have the power or the authority to make a petition as a citizen if you think that what the person has done is not in accord with the position of a judge. You have a right to make a petition to the Judicial Council to deal with it.
Expressly, though, what if the Judicial Council's mandate is triggered? What would they be interested? What would they be looking for? Because many will say he was simply speaking at the public forum and simply says the AG should file a nolle prosequi. But that's what he believes. But he was speaking in his capacity as a chief. Expressly, if the Judicial Council should be interested in this, what would they be looking for? What would they be probing?
Well, the question, of course, would be, why does a judge have a right to try and even try to condemn the Supreme Court judgment and say that if I were sitting, I would not give that kind of judgment? He has no business. It is repugnant. It is just bad manners. It is bad in every way. I mean, that is my opinion. It is bad. It is just not decent for a judge to make such kind of utterance.
Strictly speaking, though, is it misconduct on his part?
Well, isn't that a misconduct? If I say it is wrong, it means it's a misconduct.
And under the sanctions regime, what could be the sanction?
Don't ask me about that one. That's a matter for the Judicial Council.
Yes.
Because you see, the question is that we don't have precedents in some of these matters. Because it has not happened before. And so sometimes people think they can do it and get away with it. And that's the more reason why maybe one of you should actually make an attempt like that and bring the matter before the Judicial Council to see what they will do. And then that will set up as an example to others to say that you don't, as a sitting judge, go make statements of that nature. This is my view.
Will you bring this case before the Judicial Council? Because I guess you also
no, it's not my business. You don't get it. What I'm saying is that why are you asking me to do it when you can do it yourself? Why are you asking me to do it?
I guess it's the same reason when you
No. You Ghanaians like to pass the buck all the time. When something happens, you want somebody else to take it up. You were asking my opinion. I'll tell you my opinion. I say, to me, it is wrong. It is repugnant. It is what? It's senseless for a sitting High Court judge to stand on a public platform and make utterance of that nature. This is my view, and if I were sitting in that disciplinary committee of the Judicial Council, I would have asked him to resign or ask him to be sacked as a judge. That's what I would have done. And you can let him be. If he hears this statement, I'm the one saying it. I'm Okudzeto, and I stand by it.
I wonder if the rules allow the Judicial Council themselves to take these matters up without a petition.
Don't ask me a question like that. What I'm trying to say is that all of us, even we sitting on the editorial committee of the Bar Association, is somebody who makes a complaint to us, and then we take it up. We don't jump into the air. It's always useful when somebody comes, you better complain. This one, the thing is recorded. And so you send the recording to the Judicial Council and you tell them that this is what the person has said. We think there's something wrong with it. What do you say? And then it's their job to proceed as to the way they think it should be done. And as I said, when you do that, it becomes precedence. So that tomorrow, every judge will be on his guard now, not just to get up and just talk or come. Because you see, my view is that the society in Ghana now has become so corrupted to such an extent that any Tom, Dick, and Harry gets up and says whatever comes into his head without appreciating the effect that what he's saying has on the rest of society. This has been worrying me all these years. And I think it's getting completely out of hand. So I plead with you, since you have taken the trouble to ask me, I'm also making a plea to you. Take it up and make the complaint.
Thank you very much, Sam Okudzeto. There is a member of the General Legal Council. He's currently a member of the Council of State. You heard on the line, Xavier Kuji, who speaks for the Ghana Bar Association, joins us now. Xavier, thanks for your time. You're on Top Story. You agree with your senior, Sam Okudzeto?
Thank you, Evans, and good evening to your listeners. I agree with Senior Okudzeto. Listening to the sound bites that you played, I see the comments being made in two capacities. One is his capacity as a chief, making a plea to the Attorney General to do the case against Mr. Quayson by filing a nolle prosequi. And then the other aspect is that if you were part of the panel that decided that Mr. Quayson's name be expunged from the records of Parliament, he would have dissented. That suggests to me that in that instance he was making it in his capacity as a judge. Evans, I think the comments are improper. I granted an interview in the morning to your sister station, Dormaahene. I made it clear that even ended the Attorney General to take such a step, I believe that the proper thing was to do it in private, not in a forum like that. In any case, a lot of comments have been going around about this particular case, which is pending before court, and I don't understand. And those making the comments, looking at their stature and the kind of influence that they have, is worrying. We shouldn't encourage this. So for me, I don't think it's proper. If the argument is made that he was speaking as a chief at the function, no. If you look at the second leg of the comment, it was about his duty as a judge. If I were part of the panel, how could he have become part of the panel? Probably, of course, as a judge. So I think that is unfortunate.
But specifically, Xavier, which rule has he breached here? And Sam Okudzeto mentions it's misconduct. It frowns on the code of conduct for judges. But specifically, which rule has he breached? He simply says, AG filed nolle prosequi. If I was a judge, I would have held a different view.
Yeah. Evans, you see, Evans, you have a lot of influence as a journalist. If you say something today on air, it goes far. Nana is a chief, first and foremost, and also a judge. And when it comes to criminal matters, it is only the Attorney General that has the power and the discretion to enter nolle prosequi. He has every right to make such a suggestion, but the forum was not right. That is why I said in the morning to your sister station that if you were minded to suggest this to Attorney General is the official leader of the bar. You are sitting High Court judge. If you invite him to say that, I suggest you do this. You see, in all this, the comments seem to appear as once somebody had won an election, a case must be discontinued against him. If I went to steal cassava and later they voted for me, will you say because I am being my case is before court for stealing cassava because I had won an election, they should discontinue the case. Let's look at it well. Let us not create certain precedents. It will not help us. Because that is the import I'm getting, that because the man had won, the case against him must necessarily be discontinued. No, it is the Attorney General who can look at the circumstances and say that, look, looking at this case, I must exercise the discretion of entering a nolle prosequi in respect of the case. But to make such a suggestion, I think that is worrying.
But then what happens now? Lawyer Okudzeto has suggested the Judicial Council should take this up, but somebody needs to file a petition. Will you?
I wouldn't bail the cat. I wouldn't bail the cat.
Who should?
I wouldn't bail the cat because there are interested parties in this case. So they can do that. There are parties interested in this case. Even though every crime is against the Republic, but there are people who have interest in this matter. They can take it up.
Stay with me.
Because the Judicial Council actually is falls squarely within the domain of the Judicial Council.
And I asked the question earlier, can they by themselves take the matter up without a petition?
I don't think so.
Stay with me.
I don't think. But as I said, there are interested parties in this matter because I've heard very senior people in this country who also said that this comment is improper. People within their domain can take it up.
Stay with me, Xavier. I want to bring in your colleague and member of Parliament. He's also a member on the Parliament's Constitutional Legal Affairs Committee, Roxing Nelson Dafiamekpo. Thanks, sir, for your time here on Top Story. You agree this is one incident or case where the Judicial Council should step in and look into imposition of possible sanctions against the serving judge, who also doubles as the paramount chief of Dormaahene?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. I disagree totally with the immoral suggestion being made that this matter be looked into by the Judicial Council, especially the Disciplinary Committee of the Judicial Council. On what grounds? I have in my hand the code of conduct for magistrates and judges in this country. They should show me any of the rules contained in the code of conduct for judges and magistrates in this country that the comment of the Dormaahene breached. The Dormaahene, first of all, is the paramount chief of the Dormaahene traditional area, and he was invited to the function in that capacity. 2, he's a trained lawyer. 3, he's a member of the judiciary of this country. Is anybody saying that the Dormaahene in these various capacities cannot speak to a matter such as this in the manner that he did? Didn't the Attorney General himself go to court to say that Quayson will go to jail? Didn't the Attorney General went to a court of law to make very prejudicial comments? Didn't the President of this Republic stand on a political platform and mention that Quayson will go to jail? So if the Dormaahene in all this says that if all these prejudicial comments preceded the election and the election has been held, and he thinks that because he succeeded, the Attorney General should exercise his mandate under Article 88 and enter a nolle prosequi. What is so immoral about this matter?
And you say you don't find any provision in the Code of Conduct that expressly forbids this.
The other two speakers, the other two persons you have interviewed,
let them
yes, he's my senior. But let him show you where in this code, the code from judges and magistrates, the code of conduct, they should show me one provision in that code that the conduct of the Dormaahene as a sitting High Court judge breached.
But Roxing, surely, as a serving judge of the High Court, when you stand in public and then declare that a case that is active should be terminated, and then you actually also go ahead to say that as far as the Supreme Court's judgment on the matter previously is concerned, if you were on the panel, you would have disagreed. When did you a serving judge?
You are mixing.
Isn't that inappropriate at least?
Hold on. His comment was in respect of the matter determined by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
If a matter is determined by the Supreme Court, the court has become functus officio. The court no longer stays with jurisdiction. So the matter is open now for criticism, whether constructive or otherwise. Anybody can criticize that judgment.
Is that matter not on review?
How is it on review? Who has filed the review? I'm not aware that there is any review in the matter.
If I recall correctly, the NDC filed for abridgment of time so they can study this, so that they can go ahead.
No. You see, he speaks in respect of the one that took place out of Parliament. That is the matter he spoke about. That if he were on that panel, he would have dissented. What is wrong if a judge says, I will dissent? What is wrong if a judge says, if I had opportunity, I would have dissented?
But Roxanne, it's highly unusual to have a judge who is serving, a serving judge, stand in public and speak the way he did. Highly unusual.
Not at all. We have had seminars where sitting judges who are how do you call them? Sitting judges come to present papers, disagree with court judgment. That is also a public forum.
Yeah, but that's one. But what about a live criminal case in which that judge then asks the Attorney General and the President to terminate the trial?
That's the question. And so let me respond. Let me distinguish the speeches of the Revere Paramount Chief for you. In the case where he said he would have dissented was respect of the Supreme Court decision that declared the earlier election by Quayson as unconstitutional. He said if you were on that panel, he would have dissented. That was in respect of the civil matter. In respect of the criminal matter, he only makes a plea to the Attorney General.
It didn't sound like a plea. It was a
how
direct
did it
demand.
Sound?
That this case.
How did it sound? Did he command him? Did he put a gun to the head of the Attorney General?
Well, he was very clear. And talking about the rules, by the way, Roxanne, talking about the rules, that if you check the code that you refer to, Rule 4 on judicial comportment, honor, and dignity, A says, a judge must be the embodiment of all that is honorable and dignified. A judge must live with decorum and propriety at all times and must be reticent about cases pending in his court and generally refrain from discussing them outside court.
Okay, so is this matter pending before his court? You read the code, very clear. Is this matter pending before the court of Dormaahene? Why do you want to enlarge interpretation and create problems for people? Why? When it is not coming from our side of the political divide, we have issues. Why? I've asked you. You've read the code that is not applicable.
Well, let me bring you Sabia quickly to
wrap up. It's not applicable. What you have read is not applicable to the matter uttered by the Dormaahene that is under discussion.
Sabia, quickly to the question about the rule, the specific rule that, as Roxanne is arguing, there's no specific rule that expressly forbids what he had done.
Evans, there might not be a specific rule to that effect. What I know is that not everything can be written, but you can put interpretation to things that will include others. So, for example, if they say a case pending before you, we have only one high court in Ghana, manned by various judges. The case may not be before you, but maybe with another high court. But Evans, I still think that the proper way for a sitting high court judge, who is also a chief, who may want to say something about a decision rendered by the Supreme Court, is to do a write-up, because I know judges and magistrates have a journal, to the benefit of all of us. But in a forum like that, I still think it's not proper for such discussions to be held. And if Roxanne is saying, he gave various examples, the president said this and that. I think at the beginning of the interview, I said that I had condemned that in the morning, that high-profile people commenting on this particular case and others on public platforms is distasteful. So we should all desist from that.
I mean, Roxanne, finally to you. You talked about, I read the rule out to you, and you insist it has to do with when the case is pending in your own court. But the case is pending in the High Court. He's a High Court judge. There's one High Court under this Constitution.
Now, there's only one High Court with different jurisdictions. I agree. In terms of subject matter, I agree. But the rule that you read cannot be applied against the Dormaahene in this matter. What exactly did he say about the criminal matter pending before the High Court? His speech was directed at the Attorney General. He didn't speak to the merits of the case. He said he would suggest that you enter a nolle prosequi. It is up to the Attorney General to say that I will accede to your request or I decline the invitation. What is so unholy, what is so unhealthy about this? But I have asked, where have all these persons been when the Attorney General himself stood in the courtroom and made very prejudicial comments about this very matter just 2 weeks ago? Where were they? Nobody condemned the Attorney General for the comments that he made in an open court. Nobody. I didn't hear any of them condemn the president for making the kind of comments he made about this very case.
On the Attorney General matter, I mean, I doubt if you make a lawyer makes a pronouncement before a court of competence jurisdiction, before a judge. You're saying that is one that is prejudicial, and the court itself didn't see the need to sanction.
If a chief prosecutor, the chief prosecutor of the Republic of Ghana, does not believe in the constitutional doctrine of innocent until proven guilty by a court of law, and will say that the accused person is likely to end up in jail, isn't that prejudicial?
Roxanne, thank you very much. Thank you also, Xavier, for your time. Xavier is a spokesperson for the Ghana Bar Association. Roxanne Dafiamekbo is a member of the Constitutional Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament. If you're wondering what exactly he said, the part that really has angered a few people with the suggestion that the Judicial Council should step in, this is it.
That trial should be aborted. The Attorney General should, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosequi. This matter cannot go on.
Newsnight starts right now.